Okay, tribe. Today I am gonna be working on a little project here, the side of my house here, and the project is building or creating a sunken garden. A sunken garden is simply you digging up the earth and then burying part of your container inside and creating a planting space that way. This type of gardening is useful where, it's not like where you would normally do gardening. Like here, the soil is not too fertile. You want to use part container gardening and part in-ground gardening. And so you make sure that your container has a hole at the bottom. You dig up part of the earth, bury about a third of the container, maybe up to half inside. It really works well because your roots eventually find the ground, yet at the beginning you control the quality of the soil because you're mixing up the soil and creating good soil in the container, but then you make sure that it has holes so eventually the roots can find the soil at the bottom and then it can always get water that way. So yeah, let's create a sunken garden over here and plant some bitter leaves. Okay, so I started working on the project already, but this is not what I wanted, so I'm going to redo all of this. So first thing I'm going to do is excavate the earth, the soil right here, all the way to here. And then I'm going to put holes in my containers, additional holes, and then bury them. But let's start with the excavation. Let me just say you should set aside at least 1 hour for this job. Yes, it is a little labor intensive, but I like to do everything by myself. Anyway, before you dig, make sure that there are no cables underneath, okay? You don't want to dig something and, cause issues. Make sure you don't have cables or anything like that underneath before digging. So guys, this type of gardening, the sunken container gardening, is perfect for space optimization. I'm going to plant a lot of bitter leaves along this fence. And I prefer doing it in containers because, like I said, I can control the quality of the soil. Plus, it just looks different, it just looks different. It looks exciting. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate your support. But please, if this video adds value to you, I'd appreciate it if you at least give it a thumbs up and share the video. Please, if you know somebody that might find value in what I have to offer on this channel, kindly share my videos. Thank you so much. All right, guys, let me show you how I'm assembling my sunken garden here. So this is the container I'm using. It's a plastic container. It has holes at the bottom already, which I could leave like this. In fact, I have some of them without any, additional holes. But for this one, since it's empty, I'm gonna make this hole at the bottom here bigger. So I don't need to cut the entire bottom. Somebody told me that, which I'm grateful for. And based on my experience with growing other things in this container, I found that the roots were able to penetrate even the holes that I already have in the bucket, and it was doing just fine. So I'm just gonna try to make this hole just a little bigger, this bottom hole. The bigger you can make it, the better. So that's what I have. There's this hole, and then there are additional holes all along, the sides this way. And in here, I have mixed up my soil. So I reused the container soil that I had in here, added some of the topsoil that I excavated from over there, and then added some chicken manure, some composted chicken manure. They have some on Amazon. If you're looking for composted chicken manure, they have some, not this particular brand, but they do have some on Amazon. And I've tried my best to mix it in this container here. So I'm just gonna fill up this now. having this like garden gloves is very important when you're handling manure. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this in here. So at this point, I'm using the earth, the soil that I dug up to fill the spaces between the containers just to make it look good, to bury the containers. And guys, burying part of the containers also helps with temperature control, because you keep the roots cool, and God knows you need that in the summer in this Houston. Eventually, I'm going to really make this place look pretty. I might add rocks, I might add rocks or mulch or make it look pretty. But for now, let's plant the bitter leaves. Now it's time to plant our bitter leaves, our bitter leaf stems. Okay, so I've been trying to root them indoors for a while now, so I know that this one will definitely grow. I don't know if I should put 2 or 4 in a hole. I don't know, because this is the forever container. Maybe I'll just put 2. Okay, I'm gonna slant it, do the 45-degree angle, slant one that way, and maybe one this way. Yeah, we'll do 2 diluted ones per container. Okay, try it. This is our finished product. It's gonna look much better in a few weeks when the bitter leaves start growing, but this is what I have for my sunken garden. Let me just show you this other part of my bitter leaf garden. This one is like fabric bags, and so I did not bury any portion of it because it's fabric. The bitter leaves eventually will grow through the fabric and find the earth. So this is the other part. You see how this one is looking good because I started this I think about 2 weeks ago, and so the bitter leaf is already growing. So yeah guys, I'm making use of an otherwise unused space around the house. Yes guys, I counted. Right now I have about 44 of the bitter leaf stems in containers along the fence. My goal was to get 100, but we'll keep working.